I'm good. I'm live.
All right, player. We'll send this in. Send this in, big dog.
Woof.
All
All right, there we are. Welcome in, everybody. Gentlemen's Code episode 1414. Officially part of the 1% Club. 99% of podcasts don't make it past episode 13 because people are lazy. People don't want to put the work in.
They're cowards. They think nobody cares about what they want to talk about, which is true for most of you.
Most
Nobody
people,
cares.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. For most of you, I understand why you're not in the 1% because you say dumb shit for an hour, so nobody's going to listen
Yeah,
to it.
like that Hawk Tua girl podcast. She ain't gonna make it to 14 episodes.
Hawk Tua, yeah, I'm shocked that she still has a podcast going. She I saw on Twitter a guy quote tweeted one of her tweets from her podcast that said Hawk to a girl reveals her boyfriend live. And some guy quote tweeted it and said, "Who actually gives a fuck? Who how is Hawk to a girl still a personality on the internet? All this girl did was yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you're right. All she did was go hook two on that thing.
Yeah, the most degenerate, just disgusting act I've ever seen in my life. Just not a. I wouldn't necessarily call her a fine female.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I'm sure her boyfriend's so proud to go on her podcast too. I'm sure he's dying to get on it.
right, yeah, yeah. My girlfriend's the girl who, when asked live on an interview, "What would you do to do that?" I'd go and start talking about sucking dick. Yeah, that's my very classy. What a wifeable female. She sounds fantastic.
Well, I'll,
So
I'll give her some credit because she jumped on the 15 minutes of fame like super quick and probably got way more out of it than like a normal person would have. So
right,
it was like she's really squeezing. She's really trying to squeeze at the 20 minutes of fame.
for sure. Now the question is whenever that fame and that money goes away, what exactly is she gonna do? Because she can't go back to the workplace. Now she got to go back into the workforce, and people are looking at her like, "Oh, that's a dick sucking girl. That's a hug." Yeah, she got to figure it out now. Oh, all right. You want to give us a quick intro?
Yeah,
And
yeah. So, Gentlemen's Code episode 14. We're here Wednesday, November 13th. A week past the election, we've seen some crazy stuff. I'm sure we're going to touch on a lot of it, but we've seen the markets run up to all time highs. So, just a little foreshadow to what we could possibly talk about today.
yep.
And just going to plug the Taylor's Code. Just guys, check into the community, check out the Taylor's Code. I was actually on TikTok live last night, and on my personal account, I went live. I did half on the crypto merch store and then half on my personal account, and I was just talking crypto, talking about the markets, and had a bunch of people DM me after the show that wanted to get involved with the community. So I just sent the link to them via TikTok DM. So if you guys aren't in the community, check out the link in our bios and join up. Just check out what we got going on. There are a lot of ways to make money and connecting with people all around the world.
Absolutely huge, and something that people are gonna want to know about now, especially because the hype is coming back around it. Of course, as soon as Bitcoin goes into price discovery, people start downloading their Coinbase wallets again, setting up their Coinbase or downloading the Coinbase app. People want to know how to make money in crypto, and that's exactly one of the main things that we do and teach inside of the Taylor's Code is not only how to open up wallets, get onto the blockchain, buy different types of tokens, etc., but also giving you plays in terms of what to invest into this bull run so you can make as much money as humanly possible. Now, in any bull run type of environment, most things are going to go up eventually, but the idea is to pick the outperformers, pick the things that are going to give you generational wealth, put you in positions where you can quit your job, start a new business, take time off, put you in a position of power where you have a lot of money. So get inside the Taylor's Code quickly because 6 months from now, 8 months from now, 10 months from now, a lot of that opportunity is going to be gone. But right now, while things are just starting to heat up, this is when you start positioning yourself. You want to become a part of a group, a community who actually knows what they're doing inside of the markets so you can ride our tailwinds as opposed to trying to figure it out by yourself, which is not going to be a great strategy considering you're going to be competing with seasoned traders who've been in the market for multiple years, right? Trading is a competition. For you to make money, somebody else has got to lose money. So better to partner with people who know what the hell that they're doing as opposed to trying to figure this shit out by yourself.
100%. And I think, just touching on the first topic, because it was something I was talking about yesterday, and I want to get your opinion on this and see what you think. So yesterday, well, actually Monday, it crossed my mind. I was just online doing, just working, same as usual. and was talking to someone, and they're like, "Well, what's your prediction for what the market does this week?" This was after the big run up last week, right? I'm like, well, if you think about it, this was Monday, Veterans Day. I'm like, if you think about it, the Wall Street guys haven't been even in Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Veterans Day. So I was like, well, what do you think the Wall Street guys are going to do? The Wall Street guys aren't dumb, first of all. So I didn't think they were going to get in and buy Bitcoin at 89,000, right? Because they're not in the business of buying at the top. That's not what they do. What the Wall Street guys are going to do, they're going to find a way to manipulate the markets, push it down a little bit, and then buy in and start seeing another rally. So that's kind of what we saw yesterday, Tuesday, was
Mm-hmm.
you saw Bitcoin was at like 89,000 on Monday night. And then by Tuesday morning at 10 a.m., it was already back down to like 85, 80, high 84. So the Bitcoin, the Wall Street guys were already kind of getting into it, getting into the action. And then you saw it rally even yesterday afternoon. I think it even broke the 90,000 mark at the end of yesterday. So it actually, I kind of called it perfectly. Wall Street was going to come in. They were going to push the market down a little bit. And I believe you touched on this as well. And then
Mm-hmm.
they were going to buy back in, and you're going to see another rally. So interesting to see how it plays out for the rest of the week, since the Wall Street guys ended up getting back in yesterday, and you saw the ETFs had like 15 billion in influxes or something crazy, a crazy
And
number
yeah,
like that. So it's going to be an interesting rest of the week to see what happens, because I think we will kind of consolidate here for a week or so, and
mm-hmm.
then it's blast off again. So that was just something I saw and I called that I thought was interesting.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something that anybody who's new to the markets aren't going to understand something like that. So if you're with myself, Bobby, Logan, these other guys that are in the markets 24/7 looking at charts, understanding how the markets are manipulated, you would have known something like that would happen. You could have bought in today or yesterday whenever everything was suppressed with Wall Street and gotten yourself a nice position. But yeah, that's exactly what happened. All weekend, they can't manipulate the markets as the markets are closed for them. Everybody's buying Bitcoin. Countries are buying Bitcoin. Companies are buying Bitcoin. Pumping, 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 pumping. Wall Street comes in on Tuesday. They're pissed. They said, all right, nuke it real quick. They nuked it, knocked out a bunch of leverage traders too, who, tried longing literally the top of that pump. Nuked out leverage traders, got themselves a nice position. If you look at the Bitcoin chart on the hourly, you literally see how it hits 90, they nuke it back down to
Yeah.
like 86, goes back to 90, nuke it back down, buy in, and that's what they're doing. They're accumulating at that low end of that little range that they created. So yeah, it's just market manipulation. So if you understand how that works, then you can position yourself in a way where you're going to get the maximum return on your investment. You don't want to be buying the fucking tops of everything. You want to be buying where Wall Street and these other companies are buying at. So yeah, crypto. I mean, yeah, let's talk about that a little bit, because last time we talked was the day after the election, which was fantastic. So now you see we've been talking about this. We literally talked about this for weeks. After a presidential election, historically, markets always rip. Okay, so that's true. In the long term, the markets are always going to rip regardless of Democrat or Republican. This time specifically, though, and we said this, it was more bullish if Trump wins. Why? What's the catalyst? Because Trump is actually a bullish for crypto. In previous elections, crypto was not a topic of a discussion. It was not an issue that people cared about. People didn't know about regulations. They didn't know what the future of crypto would be. This election, for the first time, it became a priority, or it became a topic for a candidate. Trump was bullish on it. Trump wants prosperity. Trump wants deregulation. Trump wants people to be able to make money. He wins, and you saw how much the markets favored that. As soon as he wins, Bitcoin went from like 69, $68,000 up to $90,000.
Crazy. I
Stupid,
didn't think we would
stupid
see
pump.
that high of a pump that quickly. I thought it was going to be more of a steady increase, but you really saw how Wall Street and those big companies favored, Trump winning, and took that into consideration when buying all these assets.
Yeah. And that's why now I realize it. And it's funny because Logan made a good point on yesterday's stream on Wednesday. He said, because I was talking about how I didn't vote in 2016, I didn't vote in 2020 because I didn't care. And I'd never been into politics. I never cared about Republican, Democrat, never been even registered to vote. And I go, but this year, I was all in. I needed to vote. And Logan goes, well, yeah, that's because you have money now. And I go, oh yeah, that's actually true.
For sure.
So who you vote for, it does affect your life, right? For me, it affected my life. Trump wins, I double tripled my net worth. That's a big deal based off of who won the election. So it matters. Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, just another point on kind of the larger scope of crypto and the 4 year cycle and the election. So every 4 years, people that aren't in the United States, we have a presidential election. Everybody knows this, but also the Bitcoin halving is every four
Hmm.
years as well. So it just happens to be like a perfect storm that the Bitcoin halving is the same, season as the election. So I think the Bitcoin halving was back in July or August, July, and
Bitcoin halving was in March, I believe,
oh, was
of
it
this
was it
year.
that early?
Yeah, it was March. It was like March or April.
Time's flying. But anyway, so it just happens to be the same year. So Bitcoin halving goes by, a couple months go by, demand, strickens. There's not as much Bitcoin out there for sale. So it's
Hmm.
basic supply and demand. Once people see that Trump is going to come into office as a pro Bitcoin president, supply is going down, demand is going up. So what's that going to do? That's just going to naturally increase the price. And you're going to see this every 4 years for the foreseeable future, right? Because Bitcoin
Hmm.
halvings are going to keep happening, and until they don't happen, which I believe is like 2040 something,
Hmm.
until there's no Bitcoin left. And then what's it going to do from there when there's literally no more Bitcoins to be mined? The price has to go up because it's just basic supply and demand, because it's the internet gold, because people are going to want
Exactly.
it for the foreseeable future. So where I was getting to is somebody was asking me like when to sell their Bitcoin. I was like, I don't. You don't have to sell it. I mean, you could sell it and try to get the top of this upcoming season of this cycle, but then it's going to drop back down. But I don't think it's going to be as drastic of a pullback as we've seen in the past, just because of all the institutional money, big companies coming in, Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan, MicroStrategy, like all these companies are buying it up, buying it up. So if you have some, hold on to it, because you can't risk selling the top, buying back in at a lower price, and then you miss it, and then you're buying back in at a higher price anyway. So
Right.
that's just my opinion.
That's a great point. And this is the first cycle ever. And, I don't want to be the guy that's this time is different. But no, this time is different. This is the first time that we're able to get into the market before a top on Bitcoin with institutional money now, and then mitigate and mute the downside afterwards because now that institutional money is in the market, it's going to be less volatile to the downside. So we're going to have the biggest pump that we've ever had because we have the most liquidity now with the least amount of downside afterwards, which is nuts if that makes sense because
Yeah.
of how much money's coming into it. And these guys aren't going to jeet their bags like normal people did, 4 years ago, 8 years ago. So it's actually outrageous the opportunity right now. So it is different in that sense. And then you have to also understand that Bitcoin is going to be a store of value for moving forward. I was looking at total market caps for assets in the world, and the number one asset, I don't know if you know what it is. Do you know what the number one market cap asset is?
Say Apple,
It's gold.
gold, Apple number
Gold.
2 or 3.
Apple is, I believe, four because it goes gold, and I believe something else, and then Nvidia, or it might be gold, then Nvidia,
Oh yeah,
and
Nvidia.
then Apple. Yeah, Nvidia passed up Apple for the largest stock.
Actually, I had a screenshot of it. I believe I sent. Did I send that picture into our group? There was a pic. When Bitcoin flipped, whatever number 9 was. Okay, yeah, I have it right here. So I have this one says gold, Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, silver, Saudi Americo, and then Bitcoin.
There it is. So yeah, so it is Bitcoin and then Nvidia, right? Or not Bitcoin,
Gold, and
gold,
Nvidia. Yeah.
gold. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
So the point I was making is that gold, if I'm not mistaken, is a 14, 15 trillion dollar asset. Okay. So 15, 14 trillion dollars. The next largest market cap asset is Nvidia at about 3.8, I believe, 3.8 trillion.
yep.
So think about that. Just from gold to Nvidia is a 5x. 5x in terms of market cap. Gold or and Bitcoin. So the point is now what's Bitcoin? People have been talking about this. Bitcoin is now the new gold. It's digital gold. That's what it's going to be adopted as. And people, I saw this even 5, 10, 6 years ago. I saw that this would be the next gold because it just makes sense. Bitcoin is a store of value just like gold, except it's digital. So you don't need space to hold it,
Hmm.
right? Gold, you need the physical object. right? Just think about how simple and easy it is to just store your value in a Bitcoin. It doesn't take up any space. It doesn't take up any real estate. Makes more sense. And it's encrypted. So the point I was going to make is that Bitcoin's only $1.7 trillion market cap right now. 1.7. So
Hmm.
it's a 15, 13, 12 and a half X from what gold is right now. Bitcoin will eventually flip gold,
For
right?
sure. I agree.
So that means you have another 15x over time on Bitcoin. You don't sell your Bitcoin. What you use these market cycles for, when me and Bobby are invested in all these altcoins and meme coins that are going to run 10, 15, 30, 50, 100x, which aren't exaggerations, by the end of this bull run, what you do is once you sell all of your altcoins for all that profit, those millions of dollars that you made on this bull run, you sell all that into Bitcoin and then you just hold your Bitcoin. You don't sell your Bitcoin. Your Bitcoin is going to be a store of value moving forward. You don't want to sell your Bitcoin into fiat currency. No, fiat's dog shit. You earn fiat to put it into Bitcoin or put it into meme coins so you can appreciate them. But yeah, Bitcoin, you hold that shit. Moving forward, you hold that shit.
So here's a difference too, and why I'm even more bullish on Bitcoin than gold is what do you buy gold in? You buy gold in ounces usually, right? What does an ounce of gold go for? Is it like I don't know, $20 or something like that? I don't know the exact price of it.
I think it's $2,600 for, I don't know what the
Like a
metric is.
is it
It's
like a bar, like a kilo of gold or something like that?
kilo. It's like a fucking cocaine. It's
So
ounces. It is
ounces,
ounces.
ounces.
Yeah.
What's the
So
ounce of
20,
gold go for?
I believe it's $2,600.
Oh, okay. So so people when they do buy gold, right? When they invest in gold, they'll buy it by the gram, by the ounce, which usually gives you a set price in 1 gram or 1 ounce or whatever it is, right? But the thing with Bitcoin that makes it different is you could buy fractional shares of Bitcoin. You don't have to just buy one Bitcoin or buy a half a Bitcoin, right? You could buy 0.0001% Bitcoin for $20, right? So that's really more favorable to lower class citizens who don't have $90,000 to buy one Bitcoin or have $2,700 to buy an ounce of gold, right? Because what are they
Hmm.
going to do? You're going to buy a little piece of gold this big for what? You'll lose it in 3 days. So
Right.
having fractional shares of Bitcoin that you could just chip away at over time and just keep building it up and building it up is way more favorable to the whole population as to someone who's just trying to buy a little ounce of gold or a little nugget of gold that's like you could barely see. It's way more bullish.
Hmm. I agree. Yeah. Me personally, we talked about this before. I appreciate and like the fact that something doesn't take up real estate. So, literal real estate, I'm not super into it personally because, again, it's until you have hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars or multi-millions of dollars and you can just buy up apartment complexes, have a property management company, have everything automated with your real estate. I don't personally see the reason to buy a house and get a mortgage. If you're gonna buy a house and get a mortgage on it and just live in it as a family, I think that's stupid, me personally. Uh, and so until you can have that type of stuff on autopilot, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with the house. I don't want to deal with tenants. I don't want to deal with the property. I don't want to deal with maintenance. I don't want to deal with property taxes. How about even better than that house, something that's going to appreciate even more than that house? I just buy Bitcoin, which is just code on a computer that takes up no real estate, no taxes, no people to manage it. It's in a wallet. I know where it's at. I don't have to worry about it. And then it's going to appreciate two, three, 4x. It's like I would rather own that.
Hmm.
It just makes sense. And then the ease to be able to transfer it, the liquidity of it. A home isn't liquid. That's the other thing with houses and all these properties. Unless you have a rental property, a massive, apartment complexes that's generating a cash flow, people who just buy a house and have a mortgage and just live there, it's not even liquid. It's yeah, you have it for 20, 30 years, but it's not liquid. What if you want to liquidate it? What if you want to change it into something else? What if you want to, you know, sell $100,000 of Bitcoin or pay somebody $100,000 of Bitcoin? It takes you 2 seconds to send the transaction. Boom, 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 boom. They got it 30 minutes later. So even the liquidity of it just makes more sense.
Yeah, because then you got to hire a real estate agent, you got to pay for marketing, and then you got to actually sell it, find a buyer, pay for processing fees once they buy it, and then you got to move out, load the truck. It's not liquid. There's a lot of fees. We've talked about this before that go along with real estate.
Hmm. Yeah, it's not simple. Crypto, I pay people in the UK in crypto. I pay people in India, Bangladesh. What was the one country she was from? Uh, I forget what country. Yemen, right? Brazil. So I'm paying these people that work for me in crypto and sending it all around the world for no fees and instant transactions. If I want to send that same amount of money on PayPal, guess how much the fucking fees are? $100, $50 conversion fee. Da, 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 just destroy you. If you want to send a wire transfer, I've talked about this before too. I want to send a wire transfer to Kraken or Coinbase, which I've done before, to buy crypto. I have to send, I'll send 25,000, $30,000 to one of the exchanges. Boom, because I'm trying to buy something before it pumps. I'm trying to get some money into the market. I got to pay fees for the wire transfer. I have to pay fees to the bank. I have to pay fees to the exchange. Then the money's not even available for 1 to 3 days while the bank is sending the wire transfer. I got to fill out all these numbers and da 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 da. If I want to send $25,000 of fucking Ethereum right now, load up the wallet, put in the wallet address, boom, 25 grand sent. There you have it now. Like it just makes more sense. People, how do you not understand that this is where everything's going? Like the normal banking system is stupid. It's slow. They don't even do it on the weekends. They can't send it on business days. Like if I send a wire transfer on Saturday, I won't see it into my exchange until fucking Thursday.
You can't even do it past 5 o'clock. They close at 5 o'clock.
Yeah,
Normal people that work till 5 o'clock, they can't even go to the bank.
yeah. It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense. So this is what you have to understand is this is the gentleman's code, right? You want to be a gentleman, you want to be successful, you want to make money. Look at these things and say, this is where the opportunity is at. This makes sense. Where are their issues? Where are their problems? Where are their flaws in the system? Great. How can we go ahead and improve upon that? Or what technology exists that does improve upon that? Guess what? It's crypto. So maybe you should own a little bit of it instead of being afraid of it.
100%. Well, yeah, we did. We've been harping on it. We've been pounding it into people's brains, and if they don't want to listen by now, I mean, we can't help you, but
Right.
we're
We
gonna
can only
continue to get in.
Yeah, we can only spoon feed you generational wealth so much. I mean, if you don't want to listen, it's your fucking fault, player. I don't feel bad for you. So, okay. Now we got to talk about DOGE. Okay. So what are your thoughts on Trump making the official announcement for Elon and Vivek Ramaswamy, two
Yeah.
heroes?
So it's gonna be so interesting because we saw what Elon did with the company X, or formerly Twitter. Went in and fired 80% of the employees not needed, and
Yeah.
basically kind of turned the company around to almost being profitable. I don't know what their exact numbers are these days, but cutting all that waste, cutting everything out, and some of the things that they were already saying they were going to do with the Department of Education, all these ridiculous regulations that they're putting on schools, and you have to teach this, you have to teach that. They're going to just start cutting people that aren't needed. And I guarantee you there's so many people in the government that their jobs are just to make people's lives harder. For, like, in the Rogan interview where Trump was talking about environmentalism and all that stuff. So there's so many different areas in which the government is just spending money recklessly that's going to get cleaned up. And I'm excited because now you have two businessmen. Elon, a pioneer, has created over 10 businesses that are worth billions of dollars. PayPal, he's a founder in OpenAI, and I don't even have to ramble on. But Vivek too, he's also a businessman that
Yep.
people might not understand. But now these two are gonna be at the head of this thing, and I'm excited because Trump said it's gonna their roles are gonna be up by July 4th of 2026. So that's only, like, once they get into office, like a year and a half basically. So they're really going to put their foot down for a year and a half and do everything they could, and we'll see what happens. We'll see how much. And they said everything's going to be transparent too. So you're going to see what departments were spending what, and now they're gonna cut that department. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it's huge. And again, it makes me more and more excited and bullish for this administration because, again, Trump won the House, they won the Senate, and then Trump won the presidency. So they're actually going to be able to get things through and approved through the Senate. And you see they're actually making an attempt at real change. You see it really happening. And I think the reason he's going so balls to the wall this time, Trump, is he knows he can't get he can't get reelected. This is his last 4 years. So whatever he does, it doesn't matter because No matter how much people hate him or get mad at him or the establishment, how much they try to push back or try to kill him, he's not going to be able to run again. So he's saying, all right, this is it. Let's go to fucking work, gentlemen. So he appoints Elon, appoints Vivek for the heads of the DOGE. He literally called it Doge in the official paperwork, which is fantastic. Talk about being bullish on crypto. So, so the Department of Government Efficiency, Elon and Vivek are going to come in and they're going to slash so much shit